President Edgar Lungu pledges 1 million kwacha toward the construction of Catholic boys' boarding school. This is pathetic. This is foolishness of the highest order. You know, why would you pledge? It is so obvious. This is so transparent. What you're doing here. You just got rebuked, slapped in the face by the Catholic Church, and you got so cheap as to come to this. You plan to buy the Catholic Church with 1 million kwacha? Yeah, ifipita mumutwe ama leaders yesu ifipita mumutwe guys mwalevo tashani ma leaders yeso. How would you vote for a person who has been in office now going 6 years? I believe it's going on 6 years, and he has never said one thing that is worthy of a leader. He has never said one thing that makes sense. The moment he spoke about King, whatever was it, Nebuchadnezzar or king who wanted to divide or cut up a child in two to find out who the real mother was, just the way he came out and he spoke about it, I remember those words very clearly. That was the moment I knew Zambia was in problems, because everybody rose up to support him. And I saw somebody with very, very low level of thinking. I don't know. It's not an insult. It's just an observation. Guys, I just don't know how we voted for this person. How Zambia got so brainwashed. How our leader became the anointed one, and he got to be president with no skill whatsoever, with nothing to prove to you. He ran away from an intellectual debate, a presidential debate in 2015. I believe that was in 2016. You went ahead and re-elected him. A president runs away from a presidential debate. Yeah, he has nothing to do with that. He's too up there for that kind of thing. Anyway, that is how you evaluate the caliber of the people that you have to vote for. People, please remember this. Remember this the first time, the next time you are voting. Presidential debates are extremely important. Presidential debates are extremely important. You can't have somebody cower away from a presidential debate. Then yes, he's a humble one, he's a humble one, he's a humble one. How are you going to know what caliber of a person you are voting for if you do not engage him in a debate? You have to listen to what all the politicians are saying. This is not about you, the individual. It's not about you. You have to think beyond some irrational, you have to think beyond some irrational affinity towards an individual, because that's going to break our country. It's already broken it. This is what you get. There are politicians in Zambia, there are a number of them. You have to look at each one of them and see what they stand for. You vote for a person like this. These are the kind of things that you get. I'm pledging 1 million. And why is he pledging? Why is he pledging? Why should this country be about pledging, donations, and all this foolishness? Why should this our country be all about pledging and donations and all that stuff? Why? Where is the government resources? Where's our wealth? That is supposed to cover all those things? You don't just pledge. Who asked you to pledge 1 million to the Catholic Church? Nobody. It's so ridiculous. You pledge 1 million kwacha. Give it to somebody who needs it, who really needs it. The Catholic don't need it. Why can't you go to Kanyama? You look at the kids that are walking around in the street without parents. Look at the orphanages. And then you say, I'm giving $1 million, 1 million kwacha to the Catholic Church. This is annoying. Guys, this is the caliber of people. When we started fighting, some of us started fighting the very day that this man spoke and said, this is not the right man. People rose up. Who are you? He's the anointed one. Who are you to tell us that? And this is what happens. Just the caliber of a person you get. And I want you to think about it carefully. Seriously, I don't think I'm speaking from without or of course or anything like that. Just think about how, since this person got to power, even before he got to power, has he said anything that makes any sense as a president, for a president? Has he ever said anything that would make you think, wow, the president has spoken? Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Even when he's reading, it's about stuff that probably doesn't seem to understand. He doesn't even seem to understand what he's reading. He seems sleepy. He seems out of it. He just reads stuff that doesn't seem to understand it. Intellectually, he doesn't just, I don't know how he became a lawyer. So, Katwish, take a point of view. I'm just an observation. I really like him as a human, as a person, as a human being. As a president, he's a dismal failure. He's a dismal failure. And who do I blame? I blame the Zambian people. Some of us fought really hard to tell you humility is not a qualification for president. No, he's very humble. Oh, this other guy is not humble. This guy is not humble. Yeah, this guy is very humble. Because trust me, I've known some people who are just like this, and they turned out to be the most horrible people. I've seen it for myself. I've seen somebody who's just like this. Nobody won't say we were neighbors. A year after it all happened, then somebody came out and said, oh wow, that guy offered me money, so I wouldn't come out and point at him. He said we'd share the money, and I never saw the money. Are you serious? That guy stole the expensive item? Yeah. So fellow citizens, even right now, do not automatically endorse anybody. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a later podcast or something. Do not automatically endorse somebody right now. I want you to think about it, and I will raise that question. I will talk to you about it, and you can give me some comments, and let's get engaged and talk about it. Let me look at some of the comments that people are saying here, my fellow citizens here. Felix Ross Jr., St. Andrews High School, Ndola would use the pledge, not our Catholics. Sure, other schools could use the pledge. Although personally, I would really think a president who has a heart for the country would go to the streets and see who are these children, where are they supposed to be, where are they, what's the state of our orphanages, where is it? This is where that money could work. It could help out at least. Ultimately, it's not what's going to help the country, but at least if he wants to give away money, give it to an orphanage. Give it to some mothers who are struggling. They're struggling to raise kids and all that stuff. Empower them with some of that money so they can grow a business or something. It's only 1 million kwacha. It's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket compared to what is stolen, the billions of dollars that leak out of Zambia. These are pennies. These are ngwes. Enza Pule, after denouncing the Catholic bishops over Bill 10, Lelwadi, I pledged 1 million kwacha toward the construction of the Catholic boys' boarding school. Voila, those guys can see through your deception, Wana. It's ridiculous, fellow citizen. It's just ridiculous that we have a president of such caliber. Joseph Siame, he thinks using impia is a way to go. Cry of the dying horse. Sure, it sure is. I don't think the Catholics can be bribed. No. Catholics will accept bad, And more comments here. So anyway, I just wanted to make a comment on this. This is pathetic. There's a lot to say about it, but for right now, the only thing that I have to say is Zambians, please change your mentalities, and I'm going to tell you why in my next portion, probably in my next portion, in my next podcast. You need to change your mentality as to how you view qualifications of a president. Looking at somebody as qualified from a traditional point of view is really bad for our country. I know we have traditional values and all that stuff that we have to respect, but you cannot use those values to evaluate somebody who's going to be leading a Western-style government. You need to understand, this is a Western-style government. It requires a Western-style approach to it. And therefore, somebody must be able to put himself out there and speak to you directly, the people, and tell you why he is qualified for that job. That is why you need presidential debates. You need to ask him hard questions that he needs to answer, even at any rally. That's how you evaluate a candidate for president to lead a Western. We got imposed upon a Western-style government. It requires a Western-style mentality to run it. I'm telling you, you can't let traditional values interfere with that. You mix the two, you have problems. That's what we have in Zambia. You mix the two things, you mix traditional values and Western-style government, you have problems. Huge problems. Huge problems. And that's what we have in Zambia right now. I'm going to end up, I wanted to take just a few minutes here to comment on this. I'm going to cover a lot of stuff here, and going into details about the intricacies of our cultural mentalities, our cultural values, and the tenets of modern government, and how they've really destroyed Zambia. And right now, the government is manipulating people, is manipulating Zambians using values to shut them up. So those are the things I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about those things, and so it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing, but we have a lot to cover. But I just wanted to make a comment on for you guys. Just subscribe to this channel. I'll be coming back with a lot more of these podcasts, and leave me comments on my Facebook page, and I can respond to whatever comment you have. and so that we can get engaged and uh, get the keep the dialogue going. And this is educational because we are going to be educating each other. A lot of Zambians that need this education. There's a lot of Zambians that need this education. So let's keep going. As usual, as always, we are Bantu guys. They always remind you of that. The progress of this country is in the hands of the people. We the people. So, in other words, we elected this president. He didn't elect himself. It's in our hands. We are Bantu. If people are sleeping, if people don't get enlightened, if people vote for somebody out of some kind of blind followership, you don't want to listen to any other leader, you have made up your mind with no basis whatsoever, those are the kind of approaches to suffrage. You waste your right of suffrage, completely waste it, and you bring suffering upon yourselves. So that's what it means. That's why I call this platform Uyantanshibantu. Uyantanshibantu. Always remember, Uyantanshibantu. It's you. It's you. This is about you, not about the person you're voting. You, Lekenia Lilepo. I've heard comments like that. Yo, Nigeras for Lekenia Lilepo. Abana wakadira finch. Abana wakadia finch. Therefore, ya Lilepo. Ali fyon se fiam chalo lady eka. You are never ukasunga sanya abana wakisere finch. You know. All right. We are Tanshibantu. I'm out for now. So watch out for my next podcast. I'll be getting into some really serious issues here. Some really serious issues here. I'm prepared for some principled discussions on governance, on mindsets, on government itself, on principles of government, constitutions. Prepare for that. I'm coming. So I just felt a need to comment on this. This is just ridiculous. If Fiabupuba that's not insulting. When it's Fiabupuba. Donating 1 million. This is Fiabupuba. You have to call you have to call it what it is. I'm calling the action Fiabupuba. I'm not calling anyone Fiabupuba, but I'm calling the action Fiabupuba. The action is foolish. That's what it is. All right, I'm out for now, guys. Bye.